Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to 𝗙𝗶𝗁𝗁𝗍. No, welcome back to Space Games. Yes, I changed the name for several reasons. We don't have to discuss all of them, but I really didn't like the name. I want to represent all the space games out there, the space games we like. For example, Star Citizen. Yes, I always cover Star Citizen. You know that, guys. But I also want to cover No Man's Sky. I want to cover Starfield. Whew. Starfield is coming. Wow. And I know some of you, they think, oh, if I play Star Citizen, I cannot play anything else. But guys, you know that is not true. All right? I play several games a week, but I like to come back to Star Citizen every time. Star Citizen is a lot of fun. But other games are coming and we have to respect that. But then, for some reason, I went on some websites and I read all these crazy things about, you know, Star Citizen is a scam and they want to sell their accounts and they sell their beloved spaceship on Reddit for trades. And don't get me started on the refund Reddit. I don't know if you guys ever have been at the refund Reddit. It's crazy. I give you a little warning. If you go there, it is crazy. Obviously, a lot of disgruntled players, you know, complain about Star Citizen and the funding and how they make money and how they support the game. Yes, Star Citizen is a different game. And I know you guys, I know. You saw the title of the video and you want to talk about it. Yes, we will talk about it. But let me talk to you first about why this title and how I got there. So one morning I woke up and I had these ideas and I'm like, well, we need to talk about this. I need to talk to my community, my little community. Guys, this is just my hobby. I do have a full-time job. I don't have to do this, but I really had the urge to talk to you about my ideas. How could 𝗙𝗏 change the funding of the game, supporting the development, make sure the game is coming out? Because if, you know, funding is not there anymore, the game is not coming out. So, and we want to enjoy this game, maybe 10 years down the road, right? We want to enjoy Star Citizen. We want the game to be released. We want Squadron 42 to be released. Yes, I will play Squadron 42. I can't wait to, you know, play this game. So, but I was like, okay, they need to make changes. How could they do that? The gray market, if you look to the gray market right now, people really try to sell their accounts. They try to sell their spaceships, their beloved spaceships. Also on Reddit, on the Star Citizen trade Reddit, you can see it on the crazy Star Citizen refund Reddit. People are proud actually to get refunds from 𝗙𝗏, but that is hurting 𝗙𝗏, definitely. Well, look at June 23 alone. That was last month. It's now July 23. I compared the numbers on the funding dashboard. By the way, it's easy to find. Go to 𝗙𝗏 Game App and you can find the funding dashboard. You can see how much money they made per month and how many new Star Citizen players signed up. So June alone, since Starfield was announced, saw a significant decrease compared to June 2022. 35% less money came in. So, is it related to Starfield? Is it not? We don't know. Doesn't matter. The funding actually reduced significant compared to the previous year. Also, way less citizens, new Star Citizen players, signed up for the game. 51% less compared to June 2022. That is scary, because if this trend continues, we'll see less people coming to the game and less funds coming to the game and to the developers, to 𝗙𝗏, meaning they cannot feed their developers, right? How can actually 𝗙𝗏 retain players and make them more happy? Basically, of course, the game needs to be improved. It needs to be released. We need a release date sooner or later. But right now you can actually play the game. It is there, you can play it. So ships and vehicles are the most important asset when it comes to Star Citizen. We love our, simulations of those spaceships. They're amazing. They are so detailed. And of course, there's so many concepts still in the backlog and still in the works by 𝗙𝗍. And yeah, we all wait for those ships to be released. But anyway, the first step I would do, and here's the thing, and guys, please give me some slack here, okay? I'm just, brainstorming ideas. But if you like those ideas, let me know in the comment section. I also plan a live session where we can discuss this video, right now, this video, live together about those ideas, and I want to hear what you have to say about it. So the first thing I would change is I would introduce vehicle model years for ships, for ground vehicles, for everything. Everything which is flyable, drivable in the game, I would introduce model years, okay? So, for example, the 𝗙𝗁𝗍 came out last year, right? Let's say this is model year 2022, but I would actually use the year of Star Citizen, which is 2952. So 𝗙𝗁𝗍 2952 is a model year. It came out with a yellow paint, right? It had certain, loadouts. It has certain loadouts automatically when you buy it and you fly it in the game. So why not say in a year we have a model 2953 or 2954? I would like to see a notification 3 months ahead of time that this ship will discontinue and a new model is coming online. And after a certain day, if you purchase the 𝗙𝗁𝗍, it has a new model number, 2954 or 2953, doesn't matter. And it comes maybe with some new loadout or a special loadout, a special discounted price, a new paint skin. I don't know, make it special, right? I would actually be able to upgrade to that ship or sell my old ship. So here's the next change. Make those ships and vehicles giftable for at least 5 times. Change that, right? Create more interest in a market outside of Star Citizen, outside, here in the real world. That would be awesome, because then we also keep the gray market alive. We have collectibles, and I like to collect ships, really, I do. And in this way, I'm also able to sell this serial number 5 times. I sell it to someone, and this someone can sell this serial number again and again and again. And guess what? It makes it more special, and it creates interactions between players on the gray market. I love that. But how is this good for Star Citizen? How is this good for 𝗙𝗍? Well, guess what? There is, of course, an interest for people who have older model ships to get the new one or actually change to a totally different one. Maybe I want to change to the 2024 600i. I want to go there, right? So 𝗙𝗍 could actually use this model, like in the real world if you buy a car, and create interest for these newer model ships. And these new model ships should have certain changes, certain attachments, new attachments, maybe a new module, right? Maybe 2 or 3 new paint skins coming with that new model when you purchase it at day 1, for example, right? But how about the price itself? Well, guess what? I think the price will be determined down the road by that market, by us, the players, by new people coming to the game, by how many people buy stuff in-game. And we'll talk about in-game prices and in-game items soon. Let's just summarize quick. My idea: model years, changes to the models, improvements, whatnot, to the new model, discontinue the old model, 3 months prior to discontinuing the model, announcing a new model, at least 3 months, so we know what's coming, okay, and what will be included. Make it giftable 5 times. Change that, right? And these changes can happen now. They don't have to happen down the road when the game is released. Do it very soon to trigger more interest in Star Citizen. And then I would say also create prizes based on size and functionality in the game. And make it fair, based on the actual situation and how you can use it in-game. And also compare it to the in-game prices, which again, we'll talk later about what should happen in-game as well. Also, certain starter ships shouldn't change. They actually should always be available after the game is released. I would say if you buy Star Citizen for $60, $90 or premium package for $100, a ship should be included with a certain serial number, not giftable. I would make it not giftable. This is the starter package. You bought it, you keep it. That's how you get in the game, and that's how you play the game. And that starter ship will help you to actually make your way up in Star Citizen. What about in-game, right? What can we do in-game? What can we change there? What should 𝗙𝗏 change in the game to make the game more attractive and more fair? So, especially when it comes to spaceships and vehicles and all that. Well, the first thing they should do is change the amount you can make per hour in-game to a fair value, right? And that value also should reflect a fairness when it comes to buying ships in-game, vehicles in-game, weapons, armor, and so on. Most of the things should be available in-game. But here's the thing. In-game, that is my idea. In-game, you only sell a base model. You will not be able to buy a ship with the model name 2953 or 2954. You're gonna get a base model, just a basic model, basic ship, basic ground vehicle. And that's what you use. You can apply skins or paints there. You know, you can use those ships in the same way you can use the other ships. You can upgrade those ships with items purchased in-game with in-game currency, right? You should not be able to modify those ships with real money. So I think you should really separate the outside world, the real world, with the in-game world. The in-game world should be their own market, should be their own world, simulated. So the professions in the game, the missions, the money you make there, it should be very fair, balanced. So it doesn't feel overwhelming to make your way up to buy a base ship, right? To buy a prospector to get into the next level of mining, for example. And maybe you get also special deals inside a game if you actually choose the profession of mining. Maybe you get the prospector cheaper if you, completed certain mining missions in the right way. That way, it makes it, more attractive to actually choose the mining career if down the road you are eligible because of finishing certain steps in the mining career to get a certain mining ship or mining vehicle cheaper. And then on top of that, I would introduce a solid subscriber model. And what does that mean? Well, just look to the other games out there. Offer people to subscribe to a certain plan where you get credits in-game to purchase certain items and have certain advantages. For early access to new models, new model years for certain ships and vehicles, right? You subscribe for a monthly plan and a new ship is coming out. There should be a free fly for only subscribers, for example. That would be awesome. As I said earlier, you get also an additional monthly amount of UEC or alpha UEC in the game to be able to purchase certain items. They still should share certain rare sub-flare items like weapons, paints, armor, and it should be giftable actually to others. There should be a serial number to every item, and it should be registered in the background how many times this item was sold, and then make it limited. Yeah? Limited to only certain times you can gift it to someone else. We do have these events every year, and I love those events, guys. Don't get me wrong. You have, Invictus Launch Week. We have IAE. Right now, it's the Founders Festival, is it called, right? And then we have Alien Week. And subscribers actually should be able to fly certain ships for free earlier to test them, and maybe even have other advantages during these special events as a subscriber, right? So there should be a base plan where you just basically pay for the game one time, you get your starter ship, and you make your way up in the game. And then there will be subscriber plans, maybe 1, 2, 3 different plans with different advantages. And I think that's what we should do. That's what 𝗙𝗏 should do to bring more interest into the game. And they can do many of those things right now. But now the best idea. I don't know if it's the best idea. And guys, again, if you think I'm crazy, okay, drop me a comment down below. But what else do I think should happen? So if I buy ships in game, right, I should be able to sell this ship in the game. That is the next bigger thing. I want to have a market. I don't want to have a gray market outside the game. Yes, we can support it, and I just shared all these ideas. But what about in-game, separated from the real life, from the outside world? Let's have a market of ships, armor, weapons inside the game. Let's be able to sell those items. In EVE Online, it's crazy. I mean, it's really overwhelming. And I don't like it. It needs to be way more simpler than that. But it should also trigger an economy inside the game if you buy a ship and resell it to someone else. Okay? You should be able to do that, but under certain conditions, and not as easy as in EVE Online, for example. Of course, you can only sell items purchased in-game. So if I want to sell a gun I purchased in-game or a ship I purchased in-game, I don't know, I purchased the Prospector or the Mole in-game. And I paid, I don't know, 2-3 million UEC for that. I made my way up there. I bought the ship. I added a new skin to it, which I also bought in-game. But you know what? I'm tired of that ship. There's a new ship coming out, the Polaris, or I want to fly this ship, right? And I want to sell in-game my ship I purchased in-game. I can do that. And you know what I can do? I can go to a certain trade center, and there's a terminal where I can set up my sale. And I can set up the conditions. And I can set up how the transaction works. And the game recognizes the ship, the serial number, it was purchased in-game, it will put it on the market. And then if you want to buy my ship, you need to go to a trade center and find that terminal and see my offers, right? If I sell it in, I don't know, Horizon, you have to go to a trade terminal in Horizon. And that way, you don't see all the trades going on everywhere in the universe. You see the trades only there in certain cities, in certain towns. But also, if you want to do it more flexible, guys, here's the thing. Have a terminal in the Banu Merchantman. Guys, I mean, that would be awesome. That would be awesome if we have a terminal inside the Banu Merchantman where we can sell and trade items we purchased in-game or found in-game. Could be looted items too. We need that trade terminal inside the Banu Merchantman or any other trading ship coming to the game down the road. Who knows? Okay? Because I'm not a fan of the Moby class thing. So, I mean, I like the Moby class, but trades should never happen in the Moby class. I think it should be required to go to a trade terminal. Guys, let me know what you think. I know it sounds all crazy, but let me know what you think down in the comment section. And also, I want to take a second to tell you that this channel is my personal channel. It's not a business. This is my hobby. I just, I don't make any money. Actually, I lose money on it. I spend a lot of money to create content for, space games, for Star Citizen, for all the other games out there. And but I like it. It's my hobby. I love it, and I enjoy what I'm doing. But the only way you could help me right now is by subscribing to my channel and activate this little tiny notification bell so you know when the next video is coming out. And I think all these things we discussed today, they are perfect for the game. They are needed, and they will make sure this game is actually continuing to be developed and will be released down the road, hopefully very soon. I mean, I'm very confident that they have now a lot of pressure because of more space games coming out very soon. Starfield, September 6th, and guys, I can't wait. I will play this game. I'm happy. I'm excited. But I will always come back to Star Citizen. Okay, we discussed all these things, and I will have a summary here on the video in YouTube. I will keep it alive. I will make sure everybody can read my ideas here on screen. And make sure to like and subscribe this video and drop a comment. But again, we need to talk about the opportunities. I mean, the opportunities for players are endless, right? It will create more activity inside the game, outside the game. But anyway, guys, I talked so much today, and I'm glad I could get all my ideas out to you. And I hope I could trigger a healthy discussion today about Star Citizen, about the future of Star Citizen, and about selling, buying spaceships outside and inside the game, and what they should do with subscribers and and people with just a base game and a starter ship. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the verse soon, and be respectful. Talk to you later.